Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 38. It is a Monday today, the middle of August. It's gorgeous out. I feel like my weather update is the same so many days lately. It's just beautiful out here in Cincinnati. The sun is shining. The skies are blue. The temperature this morning was so good. I went for my run and you could just feel this cool breeze and a beautiful, beautiful way to start a Monday morning. I was pondering as I was running, like, I wonder what I should talk about in our podcast today. There's some brilliance, I'm sure, that is waiting to come through, and it's going to be connected to like inspiration for the week and some beautiful perspective after the Lionsgate portal, new moon, solar eclipse. Like, there's some profound wisdom that is going to come through me. Hello, ego. And when I was back here in my house, I do yoga for a little bit after I run. I was sitting in my yoga space, and the music that was playing was just one after another, all these beautiful chants. And I realized today's message has nothing to do with me. The message is called Chanting. Chanting. So for those who believe you are not one to chant, or you have never chanted, or it's some foreign thing you don't understand, you are already doing it if you ever sing along to a song or hum or repeat little phrases of songs in your day. Chanting, if you look it up, is saying, or they use the word shouting in Wikipedia, but I prefer saying certain words over and over in a sing-song tone. Well, that's called singing. That's music. And we all have music in our lives that we have memorized, and we repeat the phrases over and over again. Chanting, the way I have learned to appreciate and understand it, is doing exactly that. We take phrases and words and apply them to music and sing them. But the elevation of consciousness is when we take sacred words and we chant those sacred words. The English language is so limited in how one word means one thing. And what I have fallen in love with are the chants that come through the Sanskrit language, which hold huge energies, huge knowledge and understanding in just one or two tiny words. It's absolutely incredible. The language captures so much more than what the English language, in the way I understand it, captures. And so when we take those words and we apply sing-song, we apply music, so that the chants are easier to remember, or easier to understand or to copy. What happens when we chant is we call in, we activate this incredible, it's like field of energy. We call in this universal knowledge, this consciousness that is so much bigger than what we understand in limited language. Those Sanskrit phrases activate an expansion in our awareness. And singing them to music, it makes it easier to integrate, easier to remember. So as I sat in yoga, chanting along, this morning it was with Alicia Mathewson, chanting along with these beautiful phrases one after another, I kept stopping and I would Google, what's the phrase mean again? And when I would look up the meaning of the phrase, I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Of course that's what I'm calling in. Of course that's the energy that I am holding and sending back out into the world. Of course that's the vibration that I want to be playing in today. And so I share that with you. Play with chants, play with sacred sounds, and allow them to guide you. I I have my favorites. I have lots of favorites. And so I created a playlist on my Spotify account. It's Viv, I think it's Viv underscore Gerard or Viv dash Gerard. And it says my favorite chants. It's very complex. It's like a secret place, my favorite chants. And in that playlist, I have just started putting in the ones that I just love, that I come back to over and over again. So if you don't know where to start, you can start there and follow the trail. Follow the chanting trail wherever it takes you. I was thinking about this too when I was getting dressed. I'm like, what's my favorite? If I had a favorite of favorites, kind of like when your kids ask, like, who's the favorite? And you have to say, I love all of you equally, because you do. What's my favorite chant? I would say always it will be Ong Namo by Snatam Kaur. It's the chant, the words mean I bow to the divine wisdom within. And that really is the way that I live my life. You know, I honor the soul, the infinite soul that sits inside of my human body. And likewise, I honor the infinite soul that sits inside of every other human's body. And so we all have our own divine wisdom inside of us that is guiding us. And my wisdom cannot possibly be more empowering or more powerful for you than your wisdom. And so we simply can reflect to each other our own beautiful wisdom and then allow space for the person across from us to find their wisdom. So that Ong Namo chant is just sacred to me. I guess I would say it's like my call to action, my personal mantra. And then the other one right after that, immediately following Ong Namo, would be the Asatoma prayer. The first time I heard it, it was with Alicia Mathewson's voice, and I have never listened to it with anybody else. Her voice anchored it in. I'm like, that's the only person who can ever sing the Asatoma prayer with me. The chant for Asatoma prayer, it translates into lead me from untruth into truth, lead me from darkness into light, and lead me from death to immortality. In just a few words, I mean, that summarizes the experience of being a human here on this planet. How sacred the gift is that we get to explore the contrast of being in the dark and then finding our light, being in untruth and finding our own unique truth, being in the physical, moving to death and moving from that right back into immortality. You know, the experience of being a soul in a human body is captured in that one beautiful chant. So it's on my playlist. You can hear both of those on my playlist. I open up my Tuesday group. Well, it's not group yet, but people will be joining soon, and then it's going to become group. My coaching space, my Soul Stories on Tuesday night. I open that every week with the Asatoma prayer because it's so sacred and it's such a foundation upon which so many conversations and stories can be shared. And so I use that as a chant to anchor in the space that we step into on Tuesdays. This morning I was listening to Om Shri Lakshmi, which is a chant to call in the abundance of the universe. The way that it was being used in the chant I was listening to today, also by Alicia Mathewson, it was to call in support and love and reverence and food and water and guidance for children, for all the children of the world. And so I, along with Alicia, as she's singing it, I'm chanting those words, focusing on children. And so all of that beautiful energy goes to the children of the world through the sounds that come out of our voices. It's amazing. There's so many. I'm like, all these other ones are popping in my head, but you can just listen to it on my playlist, and you'll figure it out for yourself, as you step into a journey with chanting where you move from the songs that are on the radio, which many of those are incredible and beautiful and so important for us, to understand where we are in our journeys and see it reflected in famous people, other people around us who also love that music. That music is so good, and it's so important, and it brings us together. And then there's this other level of music, which is truly between the individual soul and our creator, our source of energy. And then it connects us, sacred chants connect us with the energy field of the universe. So we can mix both, right? We can chant along to a little Coldplay or Imagine Dragons or Tim McGraw. Or that's an interesting mix that came to mind, but that's what popped in. And then we can also add in, these sacred chants that were created hundreds, thousands of years ago and have just been repeated again and again and again. And we can tune into that ancient wisdom. So my invitation on this Monday morning is chant. Find a chant, just find one that appeals to you and look up the definition of the mantra, figure out how to say the words, and then just practice one chant over and over. When you get it, when you learn a language that you don't know and you learn it through music and you're chanting along with the person who's singing the chant, there's this moment where you're just like, I am so awesome. How did I figure that out? How do I remember that? When you tap into that universal field through those chants, you access that joy, that recognition that you are so wise, just like the chant is so wise. And you are so aware because the chant is aware. You channel into all of that. And it expands how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, Monday morning, here we go. Thank you for tuning in to today's vibration. Let's take this message of pure love out into all of our communities and continue expanding love here on Gaia. So much love from my heart to yours.